Are you here for me? I'm scared to go out.
I'm here, Dennis. I will clear this dangerous path.
Thank you. This grass was like my prison. Everyone just leaves me to fade.
Because you matter. No one should live in fear.
You brought the sun back. Thank you, son.
When Dennis whispered that I had brought the sun back to his world, the raw emotion in his 95-year-old voice hit me harder than any physical exhaustion ever could. Standing there on his decaying wooden porch, watching him clutch his old wooden cane with trembling hands, I realized that my presence in his yard wasn't just about mowing a lawn. It was about pulling a man back from the edge of total oblivion. It is a straight-up gut punch to the soul to look at someone who has lived through almost a century of history, now standing completely terrified to take a single step outside his own front door because he is trapped by a jungle of weeds. For years, the neighborhood had simply walked past this peeling white house, ignoring the towering green walls that were slowly burying his existence. While the city just watched a lonely elder fade into the shadows, hearing Dennis confess his terrifying fear of falling down in the thick brush and disappearing without anyone noticing made fierce anger burn in my chest, fueling a determination to break the chains of his isolation once and for all. He had spent the last several months staring out his window in complete silence, prisoner of his own aging body and the deep neglect of those around him. But today, that prison was finally coming down. As I gripped the handle of my professional grass trimmer and pulled the starter cord, the aggressive roar of the engine shattered the heavy stillness of his confinement, like a thunderclap of pure hope. Every aggressive sweep of my blade through that dense overgrowth, and every layer of thick dirt I scraped off the hidden concrete pathway felt like I was physically returning his dignity and his freedom to him. The air began to fill with the sharp, fresh scent of cut grass and turned soil. A powerful sensory roadmap that I prayed would tell his weary heart that the world had not completely abandoned him. I worked until my hands were raw and my vision was blurred by sweat because I wanted him to feel safe walking on his own land again before the day was done. I could feel the invisible gaze of the neighbors watching my progress from behind their closed curtains. The same people who had stood by while Dennis felt himself quietly dying behind those weeds. And it drove me to work even harder to show them what real community brotherhood looks like. As the very last section of the overgrown sidewalk was edged, and the beautiful old porch was fully revealed to the street for the first time in over a decade, the entire property transformed from a neglected ruin into a bright sanctuary of peace. Dennis slowly took a step forward, his worn brown shoes pressing onto the clean, bare concrete, and I watched a fragile, tearful smile break across his face as the warm afternoon sun touched his skin without the shadows of the weeds getting in the way. I realized in that moment that my life's work isn't about property maintenance. It is about saving our forgotten heroes from the dark and proving to them that their lives still matter. Before you scroll past this, please drop a comment with the city you are watching from, because men like Dennis are fighting the terrifying battle of old age and loneliness right now on your very street. Hidden in plain sight, if you saw a 95-year-old man trapped in his own home, too scared to step outside because the world had left him behind in the weeds, would you have the heart to stop and clear his path? Like and share this to remind everyone that we do not leave our oldest fighters behind to suffer in silence. And today we finally delivered a bit of hope and light back into Dennis's weary heart. Faith in humanity is officially restored, and we are going to keep moving forward until every single forgotten soul has a clear path back to the sun. Today, Dennis didn't just get a clean yard, he got his freedom back and the comforting knowledge that he is seen. He is valued, and he is loved by people who were total strangers to him this morning. Seeing him stand tall on his porch was the greatest honor of my life, and knowing he can finally step outside without the paralyzing fear of falling is the only reward I will ever need. We showed him that even when you feel completely alone in the dark, there is always someone willing to pick up a tool and fight for your dignity. What is the one thing you can do today to make sure the elderly on your street never have to live in fear of being forgotten?